All right, welcome everybody to the Daily Mastermind. I'm Paul Baxter here with Mortgage Mastermind Group, and I was just kind of explaining, we're going to be talking about how to craft your content, and what we're specifically talking about is over the last few weeks, we've talked about things like search engine optimization and active rain to get the search engine page results that you're looking for with Google. And part of that was we talked about how to, come up with these articles, these blog posts that you can sprinkle in some search engine optimization fancy stuff with, and it's really not all that fancy, but it gives you the results that you're looking for. And the big question that I kept getting, golly, it takes me a long time to come up with a blog post. Well, if you're doing it, I don't want to say the right way because there is no right or wrong way, but if you follow this little formula that I'm going to walk you through here today, you can really put together good quality content in a very short period of time. And then what's cool about it is you can recycle that content. You don't have to come up with new content every time you're looking to do a post on your active rain to make that strategy work. You don't have to come up with new content every time you come up with you want to get a video found, or you create a new video about a specific niche. You don't have to do all that if you follow a very, very simple formula, and that's what we're going to talk about today, is that simple formula of how to craft your content. All right, so with that said, let's go ahead and dive right in. The first thing that you're going to need to do when you're crafting your content, the very first thing is pick your topic. Who is your target when you're picking your I got tongue-tied there. When you're picking your topic, you need to know who your target is. Are you targeting veterans? Are you targeting seniors, divorcees, newlyweds, new parents? Each one of those, you're going to pick a niche that fits with that target, and that's why it's important to know who your target is before you choose your topic. It's all part of how you're going to come up with that specific topic that you're going to choose. And so what do you have that appeals to that target that you've selected? So if it's veterans, obviously you've got VA loans, which is a zero money down loan. That's a great offering is the word I'm looking for. That's a really good offering that would definitely appeal to a veteran if that's your target. Reverse mortgage options, how you can help a newly divorced, how you can help somebody that's newly divorced become a homeowner again. What are the advantage of first-time home buyer, and what are the packages or programs that are available in the U.S. and through the government that gives a first-time home buyer an advantage or saves them money. FHA 203K rehab programs. For you've got that family, they're new parents, maybe they own their home already, but they really need to extend on it, or they need to do a rehabilitation of some sort, get it baby ready. Those are great targets, and that's a great offering that would definitely appeal to somebody that's in that target audience. So your target and your topic, your target and your offering, so to speak, match each other. And it's important to make sure that that's what you're focused on. Is you want to make sure that you're putting something that appeals to the group of people that you're targeting, and that's really the important part of coming up with your content, is knowing who your target is and what you've got that appeals to them. So once you've picked your topic, you're going to start the entire thing by thinking of a keyword phrase that focuses on that target and the offering or the appeal to that target. Think of how your target would search for that thing that's appealing. How would a veteran search for a VA loan program? What would they type in? What would their search terms be? The way that Google works and the way that you're going to get the most amount of impact is you want to make sure that you're localizing your keyword phrase. And what I mean by localizing is put some sort of local indicator. The name of a town. The name of a neighborhood can even be a localizing indicator. And I see a question pops up. Tell me what a veteran would type in, and I've got some samples coming up here shortly, but something like a veteran would type in, using my VA benefits to purchase a home. How do I qualify for a VA loan? Do I qualify for a VA loan? Buying a home as a veteran. Those are all ways that they would search. And we'll talk about that more in depth here in just a second. But the key is to answer the question that you think is being asked. And that's really what Google is. When you think of it and you whittle it down, boil it all the way down to its very last compound, what Google is a place for people to ask a question, and Google produces the most relevant answer. That's all it is a question and an answer. And so what you've got to do is think of all the different ways that somebody that is looking for a service that you've got, whether it be a VA loan or a reverse mortgage or an FHA 203K loan or a first-time home buyer, what kind of things they would be searching for. Think of the questions that somebody in that position would ask Google and then answer that question. That's how your results become relevant to those questions. And keep in mind the way Hummingbird works. Now, we've talked about Hummingbird in the past, but I think it's important that we refresh our memory here on what Hummingbird actually is. So what Hummingbird is Google's latest update, and it's a fairly, I wouldn't consider it new now. It's probably 10 or 11 months old at this point, so it's not as new as what it used to be. But it represents the biggest change that Google has ever done in 10 years of its functionality or its algorithm. And one of the most telling things about the update that Google did is when they announced it, when they launched it, they chose to use an image of a mobile device as opposed to showing a computer or their Google logo. They showed a mobile device and somebody searching on it, holding a mobile device in the Google Now feature. That's very purposeful. It's very telling of the direction of what Hummingbird took the algorithm into. And just to kind of sum it up for you, Google is recognizing that searches are growing on mobile. I think the last statistic that I saw was 380% year over year from 13 to where we are currently today. I mean, it is just absolutely exploding the use of mobile devices, including searching using it with the internet and for search specifically with Google. So Google is taking its algorithm in a direction that is much more user-friendly on the mobile space, but it also equates to how people are using it on the desktop space. The way that people search in their mobile device is much more conversational. The questions from a mobile device, they will hold their phone up and say, how do I get a mortgage for a house? As opposed to just typing in home mortgage or mortgage for house. They're asking it a semantical question. So the future of Google search is mobile focused and question oriented. The core to what Google's doing with Hummingbird is a shift in focus away from keywords and towards intent and semantics, which are infinitely more relevant to users. And that comes directly, that's a quote directly from Google when they launched the Hummingbird. So Google a decade ago was focused on delivering search results based on queries or specific keywords within a query. The Google of today is drawing on insights, and it's taking from a lot of different signals. It's taking the query, but it's adding in the location of where the query is happening from, different social connections that the person that's making the query is connected to show results that mimic what they do socially, and even taking into consideration companies they've previously searched to give them the best user experience at the end. So some big wigs, guys that spend their lives and their entire days focusing on nothing but what Google does in search engine optimization. One guy, Danny Sullivan from VentureBeat, he's been quoted as saying, have good descriptive content and you should be doing all you can be doing to tap into long tail key searches. And that's the direction that Google has gone, is into long tail searches. SEO consultant Andrew Shotland said, Hummingbird is forcing website owners to ask, how can I answer questions that customers are asking Google? That is of key importance when you start putting together your keyword phrase. And so, James, I put together a couple of different samples of what a keyword phrase would look like, taking the Hummingbird into consideration, taking the consideration of, this is what I think somebody is asking Google, here is my answer to that question. Buying a home using your VA loan benefits in Palm Harbor, Florida. Veteran home loan information in Clearwater, Florida. How reverse mortgages really work in St. Pete, Florida. How to buy a home after a divorce in Tampa, Florida. So I'm just kind of answering those questions. That's my key word, is this entire phrase. Not just the one word, two words, not just the Tampa, Florida. The entire phrase is my key word. That's what's relevant to my search, is the entire phrase. What every first-time homebuyer should know in Orlando, Florida. How home rehabilitation help in Newport Richey. Those are just a few samples of keeping that Hummingbird in mind and using a phrase as opposed to a keyword for my search terms. And so that gives me my starting point. Now that I've come up with my keyword phrase, which is basically the title of my content, I can then begin breaking down my content. And I'm going to do that by creating an outline. I'm going to put it on paper. I told you guys yesterday, I'm a huge fan of putting it on paper. If you prefer to do an outline with a Word doc, that's your prerogative. But I got my little notepad sitting next to me, and I put the number 1 down. And I start breaking down or making a list of what's important about my topic. Maybe I answer the top 5 most asked questions about my topic. Those are the important things about it. I just list the 5 questions and boom. Maybe it's I need to dispel a bunch of, it's important that I dispel the rumors that surround my program. Maybe I'm doing a reverse mortgage niche, and I need to dispel some of the common rumors that are out there. And so I'll start listing those. You know, common rumor number 1, and then 1A is the fact about that situation is so-and-so. Specific information needed to qualify. Maybe I'm doing a USDA loan niche, and that's my topic because I'm focusing on people that are maybe a little more apt or maybe more apt to move into a rural area, or I'm targeting specifically a rural area. And I need to give them, I want to make sure that they understand all the ins and outs of how that USDA loan program works. And so I break down the specifics of how a USDA loan program works. 1, must be in a rural area classified by the USDA. Number 2, it's a zero money down loan. Number 3, this is what you have to, how much property it has to be. All of those different things. Maybe I just break down the specific benefits of the program, like the FHA 203K loan program. Maybe I break down the benefits, hey, it allows you to buy a home with a little bit of money left over to do some refurbishment, new paint, new tile, new carpet. Imagine a brand new bathroom. You can envision the new bathroom in every home that you look at with this wonderful program. So I break down the benefits maybe and show exactly what not the feature. Again, when you're talking about that kind of thing, you definitely have to focus on the benefits, not the feature. A feature is this car comes with the seat belt. The benefit is this restraining device will keep your family safe in case of an accident. That's the difference in a benefit and a feature. You want to talk about the benefits and list them, break them down. Maybe your outline is all about how to take advantage of a specific program. Hey, to make sure that you save the most amount of money, you do this in this program. But you want to list what each one of those advantages are so that you've got a good starting point. You're making a list or an outline, if you will, of all the important parts of your specific target, and don't leave anything out. It's easy enough for you guys to do. I mean, when you think about the programs that you have and the things that you want to promote in your business, your topic is really important to think about that you have some knowledge in that, because breaking down your outline becomes easy at that point. You know in your mind the 5 most common questions asked in what VA loans, the 5 most common questions that you get asked, break them down. If you do reverse mortgages, you know what the rumors are that are out there, it's the objections that you have to overcome every time you approach a new client about it. Those are the rumors that you have to dispel, those objections that you get. And you know how to overcome those objections because you're doing that loan program. So just take them out of your mind and put them into an outline form. Now, once you've done that, you want to start putting your points into sentences. You want to, kind of like Alex Trebek tells you, put it in the form of a sentence. It's going to help you as you start to build the actual content to have a sentence around it. One question I get asked quite often is, how do I qualify for a VA loan? There's a sentence about that. What's the second question, or the second point on a VA loan if I'm doing the top 5 questions. Another very frequently asked question is so-and-so, and then answer those questions. So what you're doing is you're just kind of putting all of your bullet points into sentences. A big advantage of using your veterans benefit to purchase a home is, boom. Many seniors have heard that reverse mortgages are so-and-so. The fact is they are, and you're dispelling those rumors. So you're kind of taking the things you've included in your list and you're making a sentence out of them. Just putting them in the form of a sentence. At this point, it doesn't need to make sense. It doesn't need to flow in any way, shape, or form. You just need to have sentences already written for each of those keywords. Instead of trying to think of a long form and putting it all into some discernible format, just put sentences for each of your topics. That's going to help you get those thoughts out of your mind and onto paper. It's going to help you create that flow. Once you've got the sentences written for your points, as it were, you're going to organize those sentences into a chronological order. Now you're beginning to think about the order in which. But remember, you've already got your sentences written, so you're not writing this content. You've already done the sentence part. You're just putting them into a chronological order. You're just putting them into a chronological order, and you're starting to begin to see a story develop out of it, and you're going to support that story with supporting sentences in between. You'll start to notice that, this sentence would look really great if I just put this little piece right here in the middle of it. Once you've got your sentences organized in a chronological fashion, go in there and look for places to insert your keyword phrase. You don't need very many. You only need 3 or 4 places where you can insert that keyword phrase, because that's the SEO part. That's the keyword that we're trying to get Google to pick up on, or the phrase that we're trying to get Google to pick up on. But you don't need to overdo it. I see it all too often. People will go in there and they'll have a 200-word paragraph written, and they'll have their keyword phrase in there 5 or 6 different times. Every sentence begins with, Rockwall, Texas FHA 203K rehab loans are available for you. To get your Rockwall, Texas FHA 203K rehab loan, all you have to do is give me a call. If you'd like more information on the Rockwall, Texas FHA 203K rehab loan, you can't do it like that. You're oversaturating. Google will pick up on that in a heartbeat. That's what all of these updates that they do. They're trying to give a good quality user experience, and trust me on that, they'll pick up on it if you try and do that. So you're just looking for 3 or 4 places to sprinkle it in. And here's a sample of what it looks like kind of being sprinkled in. The sentence was special government home renovation loan program now available. How many are not aware of a special government loan program that is actually part of FHA federal? So that's what so sprinkled in, it's special government home renovation loan program using Rockwall, Texas FHA 203K rehab loans. Many are not aware of the special government loan program that is actually a part of the FHA, Federal Housing Administration, a department within HUD. So it's easy enough to find those places to sprinkle those in there. And then the last part of putting your content together, you've created your outline, you've put all the pieces, you've come up with your topic based on who your target is. You've focused on the important parts of that topic. You've broken them down into bullet points, so to speak, in an outlined fashion. You've created sentences to go with each and every one of those specific important bullet points and features that you wanted to discuss. You've organized those sentences into a chronological factor or a chronological fashion so that it's easy to read. It tells a story, and then you found some really cool places to be able to insert your keyword phrase, and you've got those in there. So what's left to do? Well, what's left to do is to tell your reader exactly what you want them to do next. You're doing this because you believe that it's going to trigger your people that are consumers are going to find this post directly. And you're wanting it to trigger a referral or lead, so you need to tell them exactly how to make that happen. You do have to tell your reader exactly what you want them to do next. So you're going to include your phone number and your email address. You want to make it as easy as possible for them to get in touch with you. Include a link to your website. Absolutely, it gives you credibility throughout the rest. And this is what it kind of looks like. At the close of your, you've got your whole article there, and then it's just a closing statement. For more information on renovation or rehabilitation of your home using Rockwall, Texas FHA 203K rehab loans and the surrounding area, please contact Joy Bates, Senior Mortgage Banker, at phone number, or email Joy email address, or log on to and the website to request more information. Because of the way that Joy and Chad use this strategy, the last sentence Joy puts in is Joy does business all over the state of Texas. And so because it's localized, remember the key phrase here is Rockwall, Texas FHA 203K rehab loans. That's the key phrase. So we're focused in Rockwall, and that's where the local indicator goes. But you never know if somebody somewhere else stumbles across this. And so putting that in there makes it good. Yes, absolutely, Peggy. This PowerPoint will be available on the website. So here's what it looks like when you put all the pieces together. And this is an actual post. This is actual content that we have used. This is actual content that has generated results. And so this is exactly what it says. The title, Special Government Home Renovation Loan Program using Rockwall, Texas FHA 203K rehab loans. Many are not aware of the Special Government Loan Program. It's actually part of the FHA department within HUD. A buyer or existing home owner can do meaningful amounts of remodeling or updates to their existing home without having a higher cost second lien thanks to this special FHA loan program. So I've given a benefit already right off the bat. First paragraph, there's a benefit. Boom. Right off the bat. However, this loan program doesn't allow for luxury items in your home, such as swimming pools, hot tubs, or other accessories. Repaint, remodel cabinetry in kitchens and bathrooms, add wallpaper, replace appliances and flooring, and even add a room to an existing structure, which will increase the value of a home's square footage. This loan program has many advantages, but one of the biggest is that you have all of your acquisition or refinance loan with your improvement loan and one low interest rate, which is a government guaranteed loan instead of 2 separate loans, which are always higher interest rates. So again, I'm hitting them with another benefit. Can you tell in the direction of when I was creating the outline, or when the outline was being created, what the specific benefits that were being written down were? We went with benefits. It was all about benefits in this one. You know, we listed a bunch of benefits, wrote a sentence about each one of them. The Federal Housing Administration calls this FHA loan program a 203K loan. You can find information on the FHA website located here, and we've inserted the FHA website with the link to the 203K program. The reason for that is the authority. We want the authority website on that subject linked to our post. It shows that we're also an authority on the subject. So really important in that part. Lenders have to be pre-approved. Lenders have to be approved by HUD in order to do this loan program, which gives the indication that you're a upper echelon lender, because, you know, not all lenders get access to it. Do you hyperlink that URL or have it just in typing? You don't have to. When you put a URL in a blog post like this, especially on Active Rain, Peggy, it's going to link itself. So all you do is you go to the website, you copy the URL address and paste it in there, and it will be an active link in your post. You don't have to do any kind of hyperlink with that. With the way that Active Rain works, it becomes a link when you post it because you've copied it from an actual URL link. So no, you don't have to hyperlink it. If you wanted to say click here for more information on the FHA website, then you would hyperlink the word here to that button. Does that make sense? All right, moving on. Lenders have to be pre-approved due to the intricacies of the loan program. You must go with an experienced lender that offers in-house underwriting instead of the mortgage broker, so that you can avoid the long delays that brokered loans in this niche sometimes create. 2 types of loan programs within, notice right here, there's an insertion. 2 types of loan programs within the Rockwall, Texas FHA 203K rehab loans exists. The first is called the Streamline 203K. There can't be any structural improvements on a 203K Streamline loan, and the dollar amount is generally lower on the 203K Streamline loan, other than basic cosmetics and various other items that are allowed on a Streamline 203K rehab loan. A full 203K loan is the second type of 203K loan. The full 203K loan offers the ability for the homeowner to renovate or rehab their property, including structural improvements like doing foundation work and adding another room, etc. You can envision new carpeting, paint, and a remodel. And basically what I did there is I gave them some of the specific information, but more than anything, that entire paragraph has FHA 203K or 203K loan spelled out in it multiple times throughout the entire paragraph. And so now I'm tapping into other searches that may not include rehab loans or things like that, but if they simply put in FHA 203K, I now have a really good opportunity of coming up in their search results. You can envision new carpeting, paint, a remodeled kitchen or bathroom, and lighting when looking for the new home and have the home of your dreams now. You can remodel your existing home and have more flexibility in your home purchase. And then the closing for more information on renovation and rehabilitation of your home using Rockwall, Texas FHA 203K rehab loans and the surrounding areas. Please contact Joey Bates, Senior Mortgage Banker, 555-1212, joy@joy.com, and log on to joy.com to request more information. Joy does loans all over the state of Texas. So that's the sample. Now, here's the cool part about all this. You can create that outline. You guys have the knowledge in your own minds already, and if you take the time to create that outline, choose your topic accordingly, put your bullet points about that topic on paper, create sentences about those bullet points, organize those sentences in a way that it tells a story in a chronological fashion that tells a specific story, and then sprinkle in your keyword phrase where it makes sense or where it can fit a little bit nicer or smoother. Once you've done that for an article, here's the cool thing. That article's ready to go and can be now used for, you know, any city. You can use that over and over and over and over again. All you have to do when you're recycling your article is use a different title. Change the title just a little bit and add the new area to the content. Just change up the keyword phrase a tiny bit where it reflects the new area, and then sprinkle that into the content into where it's important. That's it. That's it. That makes it new content for that specific area. Remember, Google wants to localize all of its searches. People do not necessarily search locally, but the results are local, and it's based on our IP address or where we're accessing the internet from. And so we can now recycle our articles by just changing a couple of the small things. So on the article you just read, all I changed, so if you remember, the title, Special Government Home Renovation Loan Program using Rockwall, Texas FHA 203K Rehab Loans, becomes Home Renovation Loan Program using Tampa, Florida FHA 203K Rehab Loans. That's all I changed. Two types of loan programs within the Tampa, Florida FHA 203K Rehab Loans exist. For more information on renovation or rehabilitation of your home using Tampa, Florida FHA 203K Rehab Loans and the surrounding area, please contact boom, boom, boom. So do you see, by just changing a couple of things, inserting it correctly and just changing the title a slight bit, I can now recycle that entire article. And so the cool part about recycling your entire article is once you have one program or topic, that one's done. It's in the can. You've got that one done. You just do the same thing for the next niche that you want to think about. Just do the same thing. Okay, I've got my VA loan niche all worked out. I've got that content down pat. I'm going to start doing a reverse mortgage one and do the same thing. Do your brain dump. You take your topic. You take your most important ideas or most important information from that topic and put it down as bullet points. And then create yourself some sentences based on those bullet points. How is this article found by Google? Web page, blog. So specifically, the way you can use this in multiple places once you've created these content articles. The fast way, and a lot of you have access already. If you've got agent marketing, you could do these as a blog post on the agent marketing blog and get the exact same results as you would get doing it as a blog post in ActiveRain. The reason those two work so well is because there are both ActiveRain and agent marketing. There are thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands even, of links on the internet that have their domain as the main domain. So what they have achieved, if you remember a few weeks ago, we talked about SEO knowledge. And one of the indicators in the Google algorithm is domain authority. And so because those domains are considered authority sites for our specific category or topic, Google gives them much more relevance. And then the additional indicators that we've included there, talking about the specific program, talking about the localized indicators and things like that, that gives us the search engine page results that we look for. So there's a lot of moving parts that are happening all at the same time to give us the results. The cool thing is the only moving part that we have to deal with is the actual content itself. Everything else, if you're using a platform, now if you're doing blogging on your own or you're trying to get search engine optimization on your own website, you can use these tactics and you will get results. But those results will take you a very long time to achieve. You've got to be consistently over and over and over again posting always consistent, relevant content, and you've got to get, what you've got to overcome is you've got to overcome the lack of authority that your domain offers. So if it's your own website or your own blog, typically you've got to purchase domain. That domain doesn't, if I put out there paulbaxter.com and I wrote the exact same content that I post to Active Rain that got me the search engine page results onto paulbaxter.com, I'm not going to get the same results because paulbaxter.com does not have the same authority that ActiveRain.com does, because I don't have 2 billion paulbaxter.com links floating around the internet. I don't have the authority yet to overcome that obstacle. I hope that makes sense to you, Bill. I hope that makes sense and answers your question at the same time. Okay, so once you've got the one topic, you're going to create your very next niche, and do it the exact same way by creating those bullet points and making sentences off of those bullet points. Put them in the order that you want them to be in. Sprinkle in your stuff, or like I said, recycle. Just take out the local indicator, the main keyword phrase, and insert it with your new keyword phrase. Change the title a little bit and make that new title be a new keyword phrase, and that changes the article. Make the next one. If you've done VA, boom, now you're going to do reverse. If you've already done VA and reverse, boom, now you're moving into your first-time home buyer niche, or you're going to start doing USDA loans. Have 4 or 5 that you can in your library. I believe Chad has 4 separate things that he specifically markets, and they just rotate through them every day. Every day there are 4 articles posted, and they're always different, and they always rank. And if you get into the habit of that, and it may take you 2 weeks to come up with your 4 topics that you can do, but once you've done that hard part, coming up with that content, rotating through it makes it so nice and easy. You don't ever have to worry about coming up with content again. Then it's just a matter of quickly changing that title, quickly going in there and changing those 2 or 3 places where you've pasted in or interrupted and put your keyword phrase in there, and that article's ready to go. And so if I'm sitting in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I want to market to Lansdale, and then I'm going to market to Philadelphia, and then I'm going to do one over to Allentown, and then I'm going to do one over in Erie, and then I'm going to do one over, you name it, and the list goes on. You can start doing it, and now you're marketing. You could do that in every city in your entire area, and now you're getting leads and loans all over the state. Now you're actually, you've developed a consumer direct approach that is always ongoing. And so, some of us don't have an assistant. I know Chad has an assistant that's doing this for him. But even if not, if let's say you've got 3 really good articles or 4 really good articles, you can rotate through those, and you can become proficient at changing that title. You can have that flowing at 3 days a week. And that's an ongoing, every month, 3 days a week. There's always, your stuff is always being floated out there. Now you're starting to generate some referrals and leads with it. Now you've got a good consumer direct marketing approach. And that is it for presentation-wise. Yes, Peggy, I will make the PowerPoint available to you. I definitely want you guys to have access to this. What questions do we have, guys? Does anybody have any questions about this stuff? Creating content should not be a thing that causes you any strife. It should not be something that makes you pull your hair out. And frankly, it shouldn't be something that takes much time away from what you're currently doing. If you understand the way to really just kind of put it together in a very fast fashion. And then, again, I can't reiterate enough how important it is that once you do this, once you've got that content there, the content is there. You don't have to recreate that. All you've got to do then is just go through your recycling steps and you've got fresh, updated, always ready to go search engine page result oriented content. Make sense? I've either stumped you guys or I've bored you to death because nobody has a question today. Somebody tell me which is it. Are we bored? Did I bore you guys? I don't think I did because I didn't see a whole lot of people doing the multitasking. I feel like you guys were on tune with me. But without questions, that means I did my job today and gave you everything you absolutely needed, and I didn't leave any question unturned. So I just changed the title in the city and keep recycling. That's it. Just change up that title a little bit and then recycle. So if I were to, let me go to some of my samples I've got here. Hold on. So let's say I did my article on buying a home using your VA loan benefits in Palm Harbor, Florida. I did that one, and I'm ready to recycle that for Tampa, Florida, right? So then I would just change up the title. VA home loans, VA home loan benefits in Tampa, Florida. Reverse mortgages how reverse mortgages really work in St. Pete, Florida. Get all the information on reverse mortgages in Tampa, Florida. Shouldn't I recycle the 203K today, then the reverse mortgage the next day, and so on? You don't need to split them up by day like that, Peggy, and here's why. You want to do both the 203K and the reverse mortgage one today, because today you did, or yesterday you did the 203K one for Ann Arbor, and you did the reverse mortgage one for Detroit proper. So today you're going to do the reverse mortgage one for Ann Arbor and the 203K one for Detroit. And then tomorrow you're going to do the 203K one for at Kalamazoo, and you're going to do the reverse mortgage one for Battle Creek. And so on, and so on, and so on. That's what we do is 10 per week, and the reason we do 10 per week is because we've got a set number that we can recycle through with no issue, just keep recycling through them. I don't think that you need to set, we also have an assistant that's able to do that for us, and so it doesn't take any time out of our week. If it's us doing it on our own, I think, if you can get 4 or 5 of those articles posted every week, I think you're in good position. You're going to start seeing some fruit from that tree very quickly. Is there a minimum max word count? At one point this was important. That's all changed. It really has, the number of words in your article really does not have anything to do with whether or not Google sees it as relevant. Now, that being said, if Google has a choice between something that has a keyword phrase in its title that matches the search term, that is 2 sentences and that's it, or something that matches the search term that is several paragraphs long, Google is going to show the one that's several paragraphs long first because it sees that it has more of its relevant content than just the short relevant content. Number of words does not matter as long as Google sees that it has relevant content and it answers the question being asked. So you don't have to sit there and come up and worry about, oh my gosh, I'm only at 759, I'm supposed to have 800 words. No, that doesn't, that has nothing to do with it. But I will tell you, if you put something together that's 2 or 3 sentences and think you're going to get the results from that, you're not going to. Google will not see that as relevant. You tell an actual story, paint a picture, tell a story, and the number of words will take care of itself if you do that. Where do we start the blog? I must have missed that. James, I was specifically kind of the sample I was going over today. As I mentioned in the very beginning, you can use this kind of a sample and you can use content building like this, whether you're doing SEO on your agent marketing site in your blog there. You can do it on YouTube. You can do it specifically today. I talked about Active Rain. This would be a post that you would make on Active Rain to get the search engine optimization. But anywhere that has an authority type of URL address will give you the instant results. Now again, you can get results using your own blog or your own website with this same formula. However, it will take you a very long period of time to develop that authority site situation to get the ranking that you're looking for. So if I were starting this today, if it's me, James, you've got, I think, golly, correct me if I'm wrong. Did you get rid of the agent marketing system? Are you no longer doing agent marketing? Okay, I thought so. Get an Active Rainmaker account. I think if you negotiate with them, I've talked to people who've gotten it as little as 29 bucks a month. It's fairly inexpensive. And then you go in and you start making posts. These would be posts on your Active Rain blog. Is the easiest way to do that. Okay. How would you structure a blog for mortgages, not property, to get advantage of the domain authority for SEO? A blog for I would still use, Jim, I would use your blog inside of agent marketing, and I know that's the single property website thing, but that doesn't matter when it comes to writing your article. It's all about that title that you're using. That's the actual search term that you're tapping into, and you want that title to be your keyword phrase. It doesn't matter whether you're using the agent marketing system, which, yes, it does focus on properties, but you'll get the same result doing your blog post there, even if it's mortgage related. You just want to structure it in a way that tells the story or answers the questions. So start out with one that you take, think of your topic. Maybe it's a new loan program that you offer, or you want to get first-time home buyers to reach out to you. So think of that as your topic. You know that your target is going to be people who are maybe newlyweds, people who are maybe new parents. Those are great first-time buyer targets. So you've got your target. You know what your topic is. You need a keyword phrase. All the information, what you need to know about buying your first home in Cleveland. What you need to know about buying your first home in Akron would maybe be your start out. And then in your bullet points, as you're creating your outline, your bullet points would be all, maybe take the top 5 questions that you get from people who are, it's the first time they've started looking for a home. What are the top 5 questions you get from buyers? Just answer those questions, and that's your content. Answer them in a way that, kind of going back to putting a sentence with your, where did it go? Putting a sentence with your bullet points. So you're going to put your bullet points or your top 5 questions and then put a sentence to them. One question I get asked quite often by first-time home buyers is, boom, boom, boom. The best way to make sure that doesn't happen to you is to make sure that you boom, 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 have all your documents ready to go. Don't buy any new cars. Don't buy your appliances until after you've closed on your home. Don't buy your furniture until after, those kind of things are what you want to tell them. And you're going to break that down, put it into sentences, and then that's how you're going to structure that. It doesn't matter whether it's a property blog site or what. No, you won't be able to, and see, that's the difference there. So Jim's follow-up, can I tie it into the agent or to the Weebly website if I use agent marketing platform? No, you would be able to make that blog post on agent marketing be seen on, you could take the same content and post it to Weebly, but you're not going to get the search engine optimization that you want from that Weebly site, because you own your own domain with it and it's not an authority site. It would be like trying to get your own website to be the top site, and that just takes a very, very long time to do, Jim. You'd be better served to make that blog post on Active Rain, and then in Active Rain your call to action would be, hey, to find out more information about this, go to my website, click here, and then take them over to your website to really start branding and really start going deep with them. This is not, you're not trying to sell them with your blog post. You're just trying to prompt them to get in touch with you or to take your action step, if that makes sense. How has the response been from your company by sending 10 posts per week? How many leads? They typically get 3 to 5 calls per week. They get about 3 to 5 phone calls from the search engine from the organic leads. We call these organic leads. And so typically it generates about 3 to 5 phone calls per week, Bill. And of the 3 to 5 phone calls per week, at the end of the day, every 30-day period, they typically get between 3 and 5 closed loans per month off of this specific strategy. So 3 to 5 per month in that office off of this specific strategy. And that's based off of 3 to 5 phone calls. You know, at the end of the day, 20 phone calls equals about three deals, 3 bona fide referral leads that are closable deals, pre-approvals basically. Will somebody in Costa Mesa, California find my post with Irvine, California? It's highly possible, Jeff, if there's no other relevant content in Costa Mesa that answers the question about VA loans, and yours still does. But that's why you include that local indicator, that you localize your keyword phrase, because you want to specifically focus it when somebody sitting in Irvine types in that, their IP address clearly states to Google that they're in Irvine. And so they're not typing into their search query, you know, VA loans in Irvine. They're just typing in VA loan information. But because they're in Irvine and because you attached you told Google that your article is important to those people in Irvine that are looking for this information, that's how it gets the result. So a short video on your YouTube will give good exposure. Your short video on your YouTube, as long as you in your description do all of the SEO things that we covered here today in your description and in your title. So your title would be your keyword phrase. Your description of your video would be your article, your content, so to speak, that has your keyword information sprinkled in there with your content that answers the question. So yes, you can get your YouTube videos seen also. You just have to use the title and the description area as the search engine optimization juice. Someone to ask for at Active Rain to get to $29 a month. Does anyone have a phone number? Does anybody have the Active Rain phone number? And I don't have a specific contact person. I'm just saying, James, that's the lowest number I heard. And I think that person had to cancel their $39 a month. And when they were canceling, they were offered the $29 a month to stay. So I don't think you're going to get that right off the bat. But man, it doesn't hurt to ask. You got to, call. I would call just a regular number, get to their sales line, and just start speaking to somebody and start working a deal. Guys, girls, that is it for today. I am headed out the door to go register my boy for high school, for his second year of high school, so that should be fun. That's all we've got for today, though. I appreciate you guys taking a little bit of your time today to hang out with me. I hope you learned a little bit of something. Coming up with content does not have to take forever. It does not have to be a daunting task that you spend hours and hours doing. But what it can be, if you structure it the right way, if you do it in a formula, put your bullet points out there. Come up with your topic. Know who your target is. Put your bullet points out there after you've come up with your keyword phrase. Turn your bullet points into sentences and organize them, and then sprinkle in your keyword phrase into that. Have a nice, good call to action that tells the people exactly what you want them to do next. And guys, it's done. And once you've got it, now you can recycle it. You've got the tools available. Just change the title up, change the locator, the localization up, and you're recycling your articles over and over again. Hope you learned a little something today. I always do. I appreciate each and every one of you spending your time with me today. Tomorrow is Friday strategy class, so we'll see you there. And then we'll be right back here, same time, same channel on Monday. Have a great day and a good weekend if I don't see you tomorrow. And bye for now. See you Monday, everybody.